I put an ad in a magazine. It's called Bear Magazine because what I always told people is the chances of me meeting a gay man who wanted to live this lifestyle were the same as if there were a gay airline pilot and he crashed on that hillside and I was the nearest phone. So I put an ad in a magazine and said that I lived in the country,
48 years old, adventurous, healthy, young countryman looking for someone to share his hill farm with.
He didn't answer it when I placed the ad. He saw the ad, he didn't answer it. And
There's no picture.
kept running it because I got answers, but they were all, I'm taking care of my mother, I'm taking care of the dog, I'm going to get tenure in 5 years. I'd love to leave, but I have a job and I have a house and I'd love to do this. And so there were people who wanted to change their life, but they weren't willing to change their life. Meth people, drug people, dependent people, 95 out of 100 you can just toss away. People visited all from Kansas, from Oregon, from New Mexico. I visited people in Louisiana, in Texas, in Oregon. I went to Hawaii.
Wow.
I went to
Just to see if there was chemistry?
to see if there was.
And just none of them worked? Or did anyone live here for a minute?
No.
A friend of mine showed, you ought to see this magazine. There's a lot of interesting men in there. I said, okay. So I started looking at it and corresponded with a few. Then I saw his ad and finally, I had read it before he put a picture. Once he put a picture in it, he looks interesting.
He had read it several times. But finally I thought, when you look at a magazine, which are the first ads you look at? And you look at the ones with pictures. So I put a picture in there, and I put a picture in there of me in that garage working with the saw. I set my tripod up and I took a picture. I had my nail apron on. I had everything, and so that's when he decided to write, when he saw the picture.
So I sent him a letter and we were corresponding by phone and stuff. And when I first called him, Larry said he had to look through all the letters to find out who the heck I was.
I love here. There's no noise. You don't hear anything. You stay in that cabin, you don't hear anything except the birds. I mean, to me, this is paradise. Where I live is ideal. I can, if it were dry, I can take you for a four-wheeler ride, which you probably may or may not have been on one, for 4 miles back in the woods. I've got roads built, I've got campsites built. My whole life I wanted to live exactly where I'm living now. Not particularly on such a steep hill that you couldn't do it in the wintertime. This was what was available, and this is what I ended up with, and I love it here. And I'll die here. I won't go to an apartment or to an assisted living or those places. I till the garden, he plants the garden, he tends the garden.
I repair all the machinery.
He repairs all the machinery. I can everything. I preserve everything.
You've lived here since '93.
Yes.
Do you think you'll be here till the end of your days too?
Absolutely.
In this,
Why would I want to leave? He asked me, he told me one day, so you fix my farm tractor, I'll marry you. Okay.
We got married in 2012.
Where?
2014.
Here, at our
Here.
cabin.
2014.
2014. Yeah.
In West Virginia?
Yes, yeah.
It's-
West Virginia, what happened was we're in the 4th appellate district, U.S. appellate court, and there was a suit in Virginia, and it was overruled by the Supreme Court. So when they overruled that, gay marriage became legal in West Virginia.
Huh.
So we were married. That happened in October. We got a marriage license in November, and we were married
December
December.
2014.
And the only purpose of it for me was to make the people at the courthouse uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Which it did.
Is to make them do their jobs, to make them realize that there were, and we were kind. I was not belligerent. We wanted to make them understand that being together for more than 20 years had a value, and it didn't matter that all their preconceptions weren't valid. And so we were really nice to this lady who was a religious person and who said, this is against my religion and I don't want to do this, but I have to. But when we left, we were nice. I sat on my hands and restrained him from saying something. And when we left, she wished us a happy life.
Hmm.
So maybe in being nice, I might have changed her view 2 degrees of 360 degrees. I think that in some instances, that is the approach. In other instances, the only way you can get attention is by marching and by demonstrating. We've also demonstrated. I've also marched. We both marched against Citizens United, and I would do that again.
We marched in the first gay pride parade
Right.
here in West Virginia.
In Charleston.
Yes. 1996, I think
Yeah.
was the year. Then we had marched in these since then. That we went to the last gay pride here back in June. Sometimes we fall off the map, usually because we're traveling in the month of June when gay pride parades are all held over the country.
We took our Volkswagen to South America for 9.5 months. And we shipped our van and drove, and then we shipped it to Europe for 4 months and traveled, and then we came home and we left our Volkswagen there, went back for 4 months and traveled 4 more months. And we've been in Australia, New Zealand, and Ukraine, and
Wow.
Russia, and where
All
else?
over the United States.
Scotland, every state, Alaska, all of Canada. The reason I wanted you to come is because I wanted you to see that probably your preconception of West Virginia was not 100%. Or if you even had a preconception of West Virginia, to let you know that there are people in all of these hollows that are not like what your view of West Virginia was last week.
Yeah.
That there are gay people who live in a redneck area of West Virginia, of the South, that aren't harassed, that nobody's threatened to kill us, nobody's painted queer on the garage. All these people are rednecks, but they're all nice people. They would stop and help you along the road, which many people, city people, wouldn't help you, but
Yeah.
they would be the first ones to stop. They would take you, they would become your friends.
Since Larry was a pharmacist, sometimes the neighbors will call and have him, they'll ask him specific drug questions or questions about hospitals and doctors and things, which he can,
Or I can go and talk somebody into taking their meds, find out why they have their opinion, and just turn around their opinion so that they have a different opinion that benefits them.
I don't suppose you get too many trick-or-treaters, though.
No.
Any, we've never had one. We never had one, have we?
In 25 years, not one?
Maybe one, but that was way back in the 90s.
Yeah, maybe one.